you know that I have been listening to the album now non-stop for about the last 3 months. So I feel very privileged because I'm one of the few in the world and I've got to know it and I love it. And what really struck me about this album is just how personal it is. You are bearing your soul, you were putting everything out there for the world. Now, how big a decision was that for you to make?
Well, the biggest decision was deciding to write the album alone and take the load of that responsibility alone and not collaborate with any other writers. So that was the scariest, you know, time, and really, you know, just decision of, you know, just getting reacquainted with, you know, independent writing, you know, after I'd been in a collaboration for so long. So, you know, that was the real leap of faith I had to take in myself, and that naturally just made the album more personally pure because there is no other influence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've been through so much over the past 15 years. There's so much to pack in. But I think the thing that is probably the most shocking is the fact that for a period you thought that you may well never sing again. You lost your voice because of Lyme disease, caused by, and this is the unbelievable bit for me, a tick.
Yes.
A tiny little tick. So what happened?
Well, if you're bit by a tick that carries Lyme's, then you will get Lyme's disease, and that's what happened to me.
And so do you actually know, like, where you were at
yes,
that moment?
Yes. I was on the up tour at the time, nearing the end of that tour, and I was out horseback riding in the woods, and got...
In America was this?
Yes, in Virginia. And I got, I found the tick on me, and luckily, and you know, so I was able to get tested right away, and you know, treat it right away. But it was, and you know, you get typical tests at that time anyway, were to get your vital organs tested. So you know, you get your, you know, you get a brain scan, heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, all of that. And I was clear of any, you know, immediate effect on anything vital.
So you think, all right, I'm in the clear.
That's right, I think I'm in the clear. But I start having problems with controlling my voice. And I didn't, I figured that was just fatigue. I was ending this very long tour. I had a new, you know, a young toddler, and I had been overworked for many years. And I just figured I needed a break. Yeah. But the break, you know, got extended because my voice never came back. So I decided that I needed to investigate this, you know, very deeply and determine why my voice was gone. I mean, I could speak, but it was a strange type of speech. I didn't even have really my speaking voice back.
You couldn't sing at all?
No.
And so for someone who is so defined by their voice, you know, this is the voice of the 90s, it's responsible for your fame, for your success, but it's also what you love to do. How does that affect you psychologically?
I mean, losing my singing voice was like, I lost a serious pleasure in my life. It was the death of a real joy, and I was grieving that for years, believing that I would just never sing again. The thing is that the voice was there intermittently. So every once in a while, I would be able to manage to get something out that was pleasing, but it was so unreliable that I just couldn't launch into my career again. There was just no way I could do it. You know, one minute it would be there, the next minute it wouldn't. It was just very unreliable. So anyway, to make a long story short, I went through many series and you know, a few years of testing and therapies and really grueling stuff to finally determine that there are nerves that are attached to each vocal cord, and they were both slightly atrophied, and this was causing a misfiring in the vocal cords, and that wreaks havoc on your voice quality.
It's nice they can find that out.
Well, normally singers go to ear, nose, throat specialists, which I had done all of that prior. But that wasn't where I was barking up the wrong tree, even though that is what you do when you're a singer with voice problems. But it was a neurologist that discovered the problem. So it was actually a neurological thing, and not at all, a typical voice-related thing. So it was a mystery for a very long time, and I'm just really glad that I got to the bottom of it. And it's been a lot of work, and a lot of continued work. It's a permanent injury, but I did it. I made this album, and I'm out doing it, and I'm just so grateful. It was a huge challenge to get singing again.
Now, I guess if any positive came out from the time that you took off, it was probably the fact that the 15 years away from working in the industry full time has coincided with your son being in your life. Mm-hmm. He's now 15, I think.
Yeah, he's just turned 16.
16 now. And so you got a bit more time, I guess, to be a mum, because you weren't on that constant cycle of what the music industry was like. How important for you was that?
It was very important. I mean, it was, I love being a mother. I wish I had more children.
Have you given up the idea of extending?
At 52, I don't think I'm going to have any more children.
Janet Jackson's done it.
That's true. She has done it. But I probably, I'm probably not capable of, I don't know, who knows. But I decided that, well, maybe I'm just going to stay where I am. I have a beautiful stepdaughter, and I have a beautiful son, and I'm very happy. Just love being a parent, and I would have loved to have more kids. But, I really do love being a domestic person, a family person. I love cooking. I love, packing lunches and, making pancakes on Saturday mornings and all that sort of stuff. So I've had plenty of time to do all of that during my son's youth, and I was still very busy. I wrote an autobiography. I was able to manage a couple of quick studio duets that were, very successful in a very controlled environment, isolated environments, and I eventually ended up doing the Las Vegas residency as I got closer and closer to working out my voice. But yes. Now that he's 16 years old, I'm becoming, and now that my voice is here again, I'm just back at it.
And of course, the album is very autobiographical, and probably the biggest thing emotionally you've had to go through over the last decade, and it's something that your fans have followed very closely, was obviously the breakdown and horrendous circumstances of your marriage. Mm-hmm. Now, writing about what happened, how tough was that for you?
Well, for me, it was more of a spread out experience of writing things, because what really launched me into writing, more specifically for this album, was doing the autobiography. And of course, I talk about, my divorce in the autobiography, but the autobiography, and that's really what opened up all of that and reflecting on my life. But I ended up, when those floodgates opened, I ended up reflecting on my whole life. And there are so many moments in writing this album that were me getting lost in going back in time, and that put my divorce in perspective. And it wasn't the most devastating thing that had happened to me in my life. It was one of them, but it wasn't the most devastating. And so the album ended up not being a divorce album. It ended up being touching on that for sure. But it goes a lot deeper than that even, and will probably, I'm sure, be the most personal album of my career.
But you did find love again.
I did find love again, and of course, and that's all part of it as well.
Absolutely.
Singing about love and coming out the other side of difficulty, and and finding love again. And so the journey through the album is wide and
Totally,
long.
because there are highs on those songs
Exactly.
and there are lows, which is what
Yeah.
I love in an album. Now, on a much more frivolous level, everyone is talking about how incredible you look at 52 years old. And when we were researching that, read a little story that you were using something called Big Balm, right? Which they use on cows' udders.
That's right.
To keep cows' udders in good working order. Is this the secret to your youthful looks, Shania?
The trick with the bag balm is you've got to make sure that your skin is warm.
Okay.
You know, like you got to wash with hot water and make sure your hands are warm. And then you just, because this has to be a little bit melty in order to get on the skin. You don't want to, you know, coat your skin with it. It's very, very heavy. But, and then olive oil, you can just use the same.
Okay, I'm going to try it out and send you a picture and you can let me know how I've got on.
No, but it does make your skin very supple, which is why they use it on cows' udders, yes.
And just finally, you performed on Strictly Come Dancing
Yeah.
over the weekend. Now, I don't know if you know, but it's a national institution in this country. What did you think of getting to perform with our incredible professional dancers there?
Well, very exciting. I mean, you know, the music is very fun and up and dynamic, so just suited the whole environment really well and a lot of fun. And I'm not the world's best dancer, so of course I needed some dance talent around me and made me feel, you know, very special.